In this section, we're going to dive into the traps of success. We're building in this part not off of simple stories, but actually off of research that we've done with tens of thousands of smart innovators just like you. We have a free assessment at trendhunter.com/assessment that you can take to be part of the research and see how these traps work for you to customize this module. Again, it's totally free, but what is interesting is that I'm going to walk you through how 1,000,000 years of evolution of a hunter versus 10,000 years of evolution as a farmer has really played with our mindset and altered us in a way that has a dramatic impact for successful people like you that can block you from finding your new idea. 1,000,000 years ago, we were hunters in an eat or be eaten world. And that means all of us have our hunter instincts, our innate ability to adapt. And during time periods of chaos, this is actually when we can shine, when we're broken out of all those confines and best practices that are causing us to follow a routine prescription of how things should be done. But what's interesting from an evolutionary perspective is that a lot changed in our brain, in our world, once we discovered farming, which was about 10,000 years ago. Once we planted those first seeds, societies around the world started to flourish because we could predict for the winter. And sure enough, farming has served us well. However, after 10,000 years of evolution as farmers, we are pre-wired to repeat and optimize whatever led to last year's harvest. In a company, that means putting in rules, policies, procedures, structures, brand standards to repeat whatever led to last year's harvest. We farm. Now, there's ways to break out. For this particular part, what I'm going to do is give you a super high-level overview, but afterwards you can take our free online assessment tools in order to figure out which hunter instincts are strongest in yourself and which farmer traps impact you. But I'll give you the general overview right now, and you can think about how this happens in perhaps your own organization. At a high level, when we find something that we're good at, whatever that might be, we become loyal to those ideas. We also want to become consistent, and this is where we put in our marketing and brand best practices. We become disciplined, building professions and business units, trying to ensure the consistency of the wonderful work that we've been producing. Now, the problem is that these are all great, but at their extreme, and as we become more successful, the dependency is that loyalty turns into protectiveness. Consistency leans to complacency, unfortunately. And the more disciplined we are, the more repetitive we may become, which are all traps of the farmer that tee us up for disruption. Meanwhile, when we look at what happens when we try something new, our hunter instincts, when you try something new for the first time, you're more curious. You're insatiable, and you want to try new things in every little possible combination. And finally, we become willing to destroy whatever's worked in the past because we have nothing to lose. Now, some of those might feel quite familiar to the sort of COVID-19 period because right now we're able to try new things. We have a permission to fail. Immersed into chaos, we have this hunger, this desire, and this willingness to try new things. And that's partially why chaos creates such opportunity, because in many ways it enables us to exploit our hunter instincts unrestrained. The thing we need to be conscientious of is that our hunter traits also can get to a level that becomes disastrous, which is that curiosity can lead us to be distracted, insatiability can cause us to be too dissatisfied as people, and a willingness to destroy can be perceived by others as being too reckless. In summary, we actually need a balance of our hunter and farmer instincts, and we need to be conscientious that every one of our strengths actually leads to a trap. Because everyone wants innovation to happen, but most people don't break from the path. Most don't put in the effort to understand how their hunter versus farmer instincts actually play against each other. The question I would raise to you, particularly in a time period of chaos, would be, how are you counteracting the traps of your own success, which most often boils down to finding new ways to leverage our hunter instincts, being more curious, insatiable, and willing to destroy. Another way to even get at some of that is ask outsiders for opinions, leverage this time to see who you might interview or talk to in another industry in order to network and get different perspectives on how your own industry might evolve. Finally, simulate what it would be like during this time period if you were to completely start your organization from scratch. And that wraps up our module. See you in the next lesson.